So let me be just real clear with you for a second. If you are thinking about relocating to Baton Rouge right now, and I talk to people doing this literally every single week. There is so much information out there, and a lot of it is either outdated or overly optimistic or just wrong. So today we're going to cut through all of that. I'm going to show you 5 areas around Baton Rouge that are cooling off right now in 2026. I'm going to show you where buyers are actually moving instead. And I'm going to tell you exactly what this means for you, whether you're buying or selling. Because here's the thing most people don't realize until it's too late. The Baton Rouge market is not just one market, it is a collection of very different micro markets, and they do not all behave the same way. I learned this the hard way. Not me personally, but I watched a couple as I was working with almost make a really expensive mistake. And I'm gonna tell you that full story in just a few minutes because I think it's gonna save a lot of you a major headache. I'm Sharon. I am a relocation specialist here in the Baton Rouge area. And if you're moving here from out of state, this video was made for you. Now, let's get into it. All right, let's start with a reality check. These 5 areas are not disasters. I want to be very clear about that. People are still buying and selling every single one of them, but the dynamics have shifted. And if you don't know that going in, you could end up overpaying, underselling, or just sitting on a decision way longer than you need to. Number 1 is going to be the Prairieville area. Yes, I know Prairieville. I can already hear some of you typing in the comments, but hold on. I'm not saying Prairieville is bad. I'm saying parts of it are saturated. Over the past 5 to 7 years, Prairieville absolutely exploded. New construction everywhere after subdivision, and now in certain price ranges, you've got multiple very similar homes competing against each other in the same market, in the same neighborhood. Buyers are taking longer to decide. Price reductions are happening more than they were even 2 years ago. The key shift I'm seeing right now is that buyers who want automatically have said Prairieville a few years ago are now pushing further out into Gonzales, into Livingston Parish, because they can get more for their money. Prairieville just isn't declining. It's just no longer the automatic easy win that it used to be. Number 2 is going to be Central Louisiana. The newer expansion areas. Central is very solid, desirable market. But let me break it down for you, because not all of Central is the same. The established parts of Central still performing beautifully. People know these areas, they trust these areas. Homes move very well when they're priced right. But the outer expansive zone where new builds have been stacking up, that's where you're starting to see homes sit just a little more inventory. Buyers are comparing more options, longer decision timelines. And if you're looking into the central area, the neighborhood you pick matters a lot more than just the zip code. The next area is Denham Springs. Denham Springs is one of the best value plays in the entire metro area. I want to be upfront about that, but it's not uniform. Closer in Denham Springs, still moving well, but the further you go out, the more you notice things slow down just a little bit. And there are a few specific reasons for that. 1, commute times. Whether you're relocating from out of state, you might look at the map and think, oh, that doesn't look too far. But in reality, that drive adds up fast. Number 2, flood zones. This is something I walk every single relocation client through, because if you're not from Louisiana, you may not even think to ask. Flood zone research is a part of the home buying process here, and it's slowing some buyers down in the Denham Springs area. And number 3, buyers are starting to compare it against Ascension Parish options and realizing the math works out differently than expected. Number 4 is North Baton Rouge. Now this one is less about the homes and more about buyer behavior. Homes in North Baton Rouge are still selling, but the process looks very different. They're staying on the market longer. There's more negotiation happening. And what I'm noticing specifically with relocation buyers is that they are asking a lot more questions about insurance costs, resale value, and long-term appreciation potential. Even when the price looks really attractive, there's hesitation, and hesitation slows down everything. If you're a seller in North Baton Rouge right now, you have to price very aggressively and make sure your home stands out. If you're a buyer, there are deals to be had, but you need to do your homework. Number 5, older subdivisions near LSU without updates. Okay, this one is very specific, so let me be precise. Homes near LSU still very high demand, especially around the LSU lakes. Location near the university has its own market, and that's just simply not changing. But here's what is changing. Older homes that haven't been updated are sitting, and the reason is pretty simple. Buyers today are doing a very clear mental calculation. Do I buy this older home that needs work, or do I drive 10 to 15 minutes and get a brand new construction with builder incentives, low maintenance, and a modern layout? And a lot of them are choosing new. So if you own an older home, you're LSU, and you're thinking about selling, condition matters more now than it ever did. If you're getting some value out of this video, if you'll just take a moment and hit that like, it really helps the algorithm reach more people who are relocating to Baton Rouge. Thank you. Okay, I told you at the beginning of this video I had a story to share, and this is it, because I think this is going to resonate with a lot of you. I was working with a couple relocating here from out of state. They had done some research online. They were super excited about moving to Baton Rouge, and they came in with a pretty clear idea of where they wanted to live. They wanted to be in Baton Rouge. That was the plan. But here's what they didn't fully account for: the geography. And I don't mean that in a condescending way at all, but when you're moving somewhere else, you're looking at maps and you're looking at listings on screen. You don't have a feel for the city yet. You don't know what rush hours actually looks like on certain roads. You don't know which areas connect easily and which ones don't. So we started talking. I was asking the husband where he'd be working every day, and when he told me, I was just kind of paused for a second and said, okay, let's pull this up on the map together, because where they were planning to buy would have put him on the highway for over an hour each way every single day. That's 10 plus hours a week in a car. That changes your entire quality of life. And on top of that, schools were really important to his family. They had kids, they were putting down roots, they wanted a great school district. So I pointed them towards niche.com, which is a fantastic resource, by the way. I always recommend it to my relocation clients. And we started looking at actual school data ratings together, and we found that changed everything. There was an area outside of where they originally planned to be that had excellent schools, a neighborhood with a community pool and tennis courts, which was significantly closer. And honestly, they found a home that was a better fit for their family in every single way. Relocating here isn't just about finding a house. It's about finding the right life for you and your family in a place you don't know yet. And that requires someone who actually knows the market street by street. I was born and raised raised in Louisiana. I was a paramedic on the street for over 10 years here, so I know every little street in Baton Rouge. All right, so if demand is shifting away from some of these areas, where is it actually going? Let me break that down for you. Number one, Gonzales, which is Ascension Parish. This is probably the biggest story in Baton Rouge Metro right now. Gonzales is pulling in buyers from Prairieville, from Baton Rouge proper, and from a lot of out-of-state relocation. More space, new construction options, strong school system, and it's still very affordable relative to other growing markets here. If you can handle the commute, the math works very well right here. Number two is Livingston Parish, Walker and Denham Springs area. This area continues to be a magnet for affordability-driven buyers. Lower home prices, lower property taxes, newer subdivisions, and if you don't mind being a little further out, this is where the numbers make the most sense. Number three is Zachary. Zachary is one of the most consistent markets in the entire Baton Rouge area. And honestly, it doesn't always get the attention it deserves. Strong resale patterns, stable demand, buyers who tend to be decisive. Homes here don't sit long when they're priced correctly. If you're looking at a market that doesn't have the same volatility you see everywhere, Zachary is definitely worth taking a serious look at. And number four, South Baton Rouge, St. George area. This area continues to perform well. A proximity to major employers, established infrastructure, and predictable resale value make it a confidence builder for buyers. And when buyers feel confident, they make decisions faster. That's great for everyone. And number five, new construction communities across the metro. I've touched on this a few times already, but I want to say it directly. Across the Baton Rouge area, buyers are leaning heavily into new construction, builder incentives, lower maintenance, energy efficient, modern layouts, and the entry to get into the new homes is usually less sometimes than an existing home here. And in a lot of cases, the monthly payment difference between new and resale isn't significant anymore. And if you're relocating, new construction communities absolutely need to be on your radar. And I made a video recently about the top 5 new constructions in Baton Rouge under $400,000 that you can actually get into with zero money down if you qualify. So, all right, let's talk about it. If you're buying, I want you to hear this clarity. Right now is actually a really good window to buy in the Baton Rouge area. You have more options, you have more negotiating power, you have more time to make a thoughtful decision. This is not crazy offer in the crazy 24-hour market that a lot of people experienced a few years ago, but this is important. You have to be strategic. You can't just pick a zip code and call it done. You need to think about commute times. You need to research flood zones. You need to understand insurance costs in different areas. And you need to think about long-term resale value, especially if there's any chance you might not be in this home forever. And if you're here thinking market reward versus buyer, this is a thinking market, and thinking markets reward buyers who come in prepared. If you're selling, you can absolutely still win in this market, but expectations have to be realistic. The homes that are selling are priced correctly, well maintained, are updated, and showing very well. The homes that are sitting almost always comes down to pricing or condition, and right now you are competing in many cases directly against brand new construction. So you have to give buyers a reason to choose your home. And the good news, if you do these things right now, you can absolutely get to the closing table. I see it every week. The big picture. Here's what I want you to leave you with. Baton Rouge is not declining. And let me say that again. Baton Rouge is not declining. What it's doing is shifting. Buyers are moving for value. Growth is pushing out into surrounding parishes. New construction is commanding more and more demand. And buyer behavior has become more intentional, more research, more questions, more deliberate decisions. The market isn't slowing down, it's maturing. And that's actually a healthy thing. What it means practically is that where you buy and how you buy matter more right now than it did 3 or 4 years ago. That's rising tide that lifts all boats. That's not where we're in right now. We're in a market where the right move in the right location at the right price does really well, and everything sits knowing the difference is everything. All right, so if you're thinking about relocating to Baton Rouge, whether you're looking at Gonzales, Zachary, Denham Springs, South Baton Rouge, or anywhere else, please don't try to figure this out on your own from a screen. Every single one of these areas behaves differently. The school situation is different. The flood situation is different. The commute reality time is very different. And the resale story is different. You cannot understand that from Zillow. I help people navigate exactly this kind of decision every single week. People who are moving here from Texas, from Florida, California, the Midwest, people who are excited about Baton Rouge, but just don't know the layout of the land yet. And my job is to make sure that when you buy land here, you land in the right place for your family. So if that's you, reach out to me, call me, text me, send me a message. All my contact info is in the description below. I would genuinely love to help you figure out where you and your money works best for you. And if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I put content like this out every single week because I want you to be informed as possible before you make one of the biggest decisions of your life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.